This is a full roofing ads course on how to generate $1 to $5 million a year, even in competitive markets. And we already covered why you're missing out on $1 to $5 million a year, where to advertise to get that money, 11 of the top performing residential roofing ads that we've made out of 500. And now we're going to be covering how to make winning ads. We're on a mission to change the way that roofers perceive marketers. But before I go into that, my name is Rohan Jha, CEO and founder of 4Roofers. We generated a 12x average ROI and as high as 657K in 1 month for a client. And it's largely because we make over 120 roofing ads per month. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how we actually do that. Like I said, we're on a mission to change the way that roofers perceive marketers, and that's why we give away all the secrets. Like we have this YouTube channel here, we have our Instagram, our TikTok, etc. We have case studies that you can access for free. That's also why this entire course is free as well. Our goal is that you implement what I talk about here in our content, our case studies, etc. Make your company stand out and generate millions and scale your roofing business to the moon. Or you implement everything, it works phenomenally, but you decide you want it off your plate and you hire us. And if so, we do guarantee a 4x ROI and offer your first month free. So you can download this full course in the description. And if you'd like to see if you qualify, go to our website or check out the link in the description if you want to see if you can get your first month free. And if you want to watch the previous videos on why you're missing out on $1 to $5 million a year, how to advertise and where to advertise to get that money for your business, as well as 11 of our top performing ads, check in the description. It's going to have all the videos linked there. But today we're going to be covering how to make winning ads. And the first part is going to be good preparation. And you have to know your audience. So we have something called a one sheet that makes the ad process much easier. We want to cover the benefits, pain points, objections, and features. So you want to consider everything you know and write it down pertaining to the benefits, pain points, objections, and features. Then you want to research into social platforms, add comments, Reddit or Quora, ChatGPT, and take those different links, screenshots, etc., and copy and paste it into those different benefits, pain points, objections, etc., that you had already written down, as well as add different things to those lists as you go through. Finally, you also want to look at your own reviews, other companies' reviews, etc., and add those in to support each point. You can only use the ones that are your reviews in your ads, but what you can do is you can find out the way that your customers actually speak about the different value props in your business and use that as headlines in your ads. Consider your business. Consider your offer, whether that be a financing offer, insurance, a discount, etc. Consider your own uniqueness, whether that be how long you've been in business, how many roofs you've done, certifications, warranties, etc. And finally, consider the different messaging and angles that you want to use. Are you going to position yourself as the highest quality roofer, that you should never go with that chuck in the truck who's going to give you a roof that you have to replace? Are you going to position yourself as a cheaper roofer who tries to be more fair? Are you going to position yourself as metal only? There's many different angles that you can take. You just have to consider how you want to advertise, what messages you want to actually put in your ads. Here is our audience one sheet where we have different testimonials, we have benefits, as well as backing that up with different reviews. We have a complete review cheat sheet that goes over some great reviews, headlines for the ads, and then we also go over the objections, features, failed solutions, and pain points. We use this for our actual ads because it makes it 10 times easier because all of the work is already done. We can take this and pull to make our ads faster. If you want to become a top 1% advertiser for roofing, this is one of the best things you can do to fast track that. This is one of the best things you can do to fast track that process. You can do it within an hour. You can do it as long as 4 hours, but it saves at least 1 hour every time you make ads. Do this now, and you will thank me. And if you want a great walkthrough of how to make the audience one sheet, we took this D2C advertisers breakdown and translated it into roofing itself. So you can check that out here. Great video on how to actually make a one sheet and all the background there. The next thing that you can do is get inspiration from great advertisers. For lead generation specifically, you can look at Alex Hormozi, King Kong Co. And for D2C brands, they have really good ads and great formats to take a look at. Very interesting ways on how they actually make their image and video ads. You can look at Athletic Greens, Brunt Workwear, The Ridge, Hexclad Oats Overnight, and Magic Spoon. You can also study roofing people, but you have to make sure you study these people for what not to do. Finally, the last thing you want to do is have a running list of different ad ideas that you want to make. So you want to write down any that come up during the week. And if you have run ads before, if you have a big enough sample size, you have a head start of what to do, what not to do. It's not bulletproof, but it gives you a good starting point, which is what's most important. I would note down the trends in the top 20% of performing ads, as well as the bottom 20% as well. Use what you did in the past as a big informant for what to do and what not to do now. You've already done the work in the past, might as well use it for your campaigns now. Now we're going to be covering actually making the ads. So number one, use your research. You want to actually use what you've done to guide what to make. Use the headlines from reviews, benefits, objections. Highlight your offer and value props in ways that customers can understand, and use the reviews to use their language. You can use the formats from the DTC advertisers that I showed you to make it more engaging. You can use your best ads from the past to model your new ads as long as they actually worked. And finally, you can use lead gen advertisers for how to make ads for service providers, translating what you've learned from D2C over to lead generation with roofing. And the biggest thing that you want to do is focus on the hook and headline. Spend 10 times the effort, time, attention on your hook and headline than the actual body. And when I say 10 times, I actually mean 10 times. For videos, focus on the first 0.5 or first 3 seconds. What are the visuals, words, sounds, headlines, etc.? That doesn't mean do something just to hook them in. It should be related to roofing or your body though. For images, you should be able to zoom out and make sure that you can clearly be seen and understood within 2 seconds. It basically acts as your hook. We break down hooks between the following. First, call out the area. You can do hello North Carolina homeowners, hello Oklahoma homeowners, hello Charlotte homeowners, whatever it is. You can also mention the offer. Get a metal roof as low as $99 a month. Get a metal roof through your insurance. You can also call out pain. These ones will be a little bit more basic. Is your roof leaking? Are you looking for a new roof? Is your roof over 10 years old? And finally, you can do some more generic and broad ones, like don't let roofers scam you. I'm not sorry if people don't believe we can get them a metal roof for just $99 a month. There's a lot of things that you can do in this generic and other category. So what I would do is I would focus mainly on calling out the area, mentioning your offer, or calling out pain, and you can mix those together. However, you can also mix in some more generic ones and see how they perform. Now, like I mentioned, you can combine different things together. So you can say, North Carolina homeowners, is your roof leaking? That would be calling out the area and calling out pain. You can also say, if you live in North Carolina, you can get a metal roof as low as $99 a month, combining the offer as well as the area. And you can do that, and you can do all of those together. Again, like I mentioned, we're moving away from more generic and other type of hooks. However, it can be useful when they do connect to a body. We're now mainly focusing on those first 3 hook types, like I mentioned. Those are some examples of hooks that we've done, but there are a lot more that you can make. Make a lot and cut the worst idea, but make sure that there's a lot of variation between the hooks that you decide on. And like I mentioned, 10 times the effort on the hook than the body. So that means you're making 10 times as many hooks than the body. That means you're spending 10 times as much time on the body. And like I mentioned, you can do different things to make it better. What are not just the words that you're putting in there, but the visuals, the sounds, the headlines that go along with it so that you can pull in your ideal customer. Number 3 is going to be volume. Make a ton of ads, some with small variations and some with big variations. I'm going to show some examples of this below. And finally, make sure you have a hypothesis for every single ad. You should always be testing something with your ads, number 1. And number 2, you should always believe it'll work and beat out the ads that are already in the account. I cannot stress this enough. It is one of the most important things. You don't just put out volume to put out volume. You put out volume to be testing something and be making better ads over time. Sometimes we spend a ton of time making an ad to then say, nope, we're not going to run it because we don't believe it's going to raise the bar of the account. The time to make the ad is gone, but the spend that will go into the ad is not. Save your money. Don't put out ads that you don't think will perform or that aren't testing things as well. So here's an example of a hypothesis that we just launched. If we use the last roof frame, then more people will opt in because of that messaging. It has worked well in the past, so we wanted to go deeper into it now. If we provide proof, i.e., social proof with reviews, testimonials, how many roofs we've done, etc., then more people will opt in because they trust us more. That was the hypothesis that we're currently testing now. So for videos, we typically use videos to tell more of a story. We target people higher up the funnel. This could be the 3% of people that are ready to buy, all the way to the 30% of people that don't even think they're interested in buying. It could be anyone that's unaware, problem aware, solution aware, or product aware. Typically not people that are most aware. We typically reserve that for image ads. So for videos, I would come up with anywhere from 5 to 20 hooks. Use any of those 4 hook types that we mentioned. Come up with 2 to 5 bodies that convey your messaging and angle that you decided in on the research phase. And initially what I would do is use similar messaging and angles on both images and videos to isolate those variables and learn faster. You can even use similar hooks, headlines, and bodies as long as they're translated to the format that they're presented in. Don't just put a huge wall of text that you got from your video ad onto an image ad. It's very unlikely that is actually going to work. So make sure you translate it into the format that you are presenting in. Now, the really, really important thing with video ads is that you edit the scripts. You've already put all the effort into writing the scripts. Now take an extra 20 minutes to make them more readable. We use something called Hemingway Editor that grades the actual readability of your script. So as you can see, this one here is grade 9. And I basically just made this here to show you how easy it is to have a more complex script. We want to edit our scripts down to be below 4th grade reading level, so 3rd grade or below. So I took this same thing, said the same message, and I got it down to grade 3 in just about 5 minutes, probably even less. You'll notice you may be saying a lot more words than you need in your actual script. So use Hemingway Editor to make a few small tweaks to have the same message but much more readable, ultimately leading to more conversion. Trust me on this, if you do this correctly, you will have better performing ads. And lastly, for video production, I would optimally film the videos non-selfie style, and if it's absolutely necessary, you can do selfie style. Try to do someone else holding the camera or a tripod. I would practice the lines one by one and deliver one line at a time. So if I'm saying, North Carolina homeowners, get a new roof through your insurance, we get new roofs through the insurance because most people have hail damage that they aren't aware of. I would simply just say, North Carolina homeowners, get a new roof through your insurance. As you can see, I messed up there. That's not a problem. What you do is then you take a break, you look at the other line, practice it, and then you say, we can help you get a new roof through your insurance because most homeowners aren't aware that they have hail damage on their roof. I messed up there, so I would do it again. Then what you can do is you can give that to a video editor or do it yourself on a video editing software like CapCut, which is free, and stitch each line together to create one big video. Make sure there isn't large spaces between words. I would edit captions on as well. This is why you can film them with just going line by line. It makes it way more easier to get a lot more volume out. And then you repeat the above process for all videos. Now for images, we use images to target typically the top 10% of people lower in the funnel, including the 3% that are ready to buy, plus the 7% of people that are open to buying. Typically people that are problem aware, solution aware, product aware, or most aware. Typically not people that are unaware. We'll sometimes go as far as to target the 30% of people that don't think they're interested, but it is rare. We typically don't target people that are unaware because, like I mentioned, you can't tell enough of a story, so we reserve that stage for video ads. Videos can be good at creating awareness, and images can be great at converting that awareness. A combination of professional ads in both categories can lead to more scalability and better results overall. Now for images, we kind of script these, but it's more so how are we laying out the message that we're trying to convey. So come up with 5 to 20 hooks or headlines where you put any or all the following things in the hook. It's going to be the offer, something completely generic, or something related to the messaging and angles. Come up with 2 to 5 bodies that convey your messaging angles that you decided on in the research phase. As you can see, it's very similar to what we do with video ads, but we just translate that into an image. For image production, you can use Canva for images. If you're serious about making good ads, Canva Pro is well worth it. You can go to templates, social media, and go through everything Instagram and Facebook, as you can see here. The beauty of this is that as you scroll through, you can pick the ones that only catch your eye, and this is great because it mimics the user's behavior as they're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. You want something that catches their eye too, so that's why this method has worked really well for us. For images, use the body from above if you're creating a more comprehensive image, and use a hook/headline as the actual headline on the image. If it's more simple, just use the headline and maybe some of the body. For images, I would recommend creating less of the same looking image with different headlines and more so tons of different formats. So with videos, you can use the same body and just vary the hook. Whereas with images, what I would do instead is I would make a lot of similar ads in terms of the overall message, but vary the format in terms of the colors, what's in the background, etc. Now we also want to make sure that we correctly test and analyze the actual ads. I'm not going to be covering how to upload and set up campaigns, but you can find a video on how we set that up here, linked right in the full course. Again, just download it in the description if you want to access this. Now I'd also recommend having 2 creatives max per ad set running at $25 a day, no less, no more. And then if an ad set has not generated a lead at $65 and other have, I would cut this ad set. If it hasn't generated 2 leads at $90 and others have, I would cut this ad at the end of the week as well. I would track all the tests that you're running in a sheet or a centralized database with your different variables as well as your hypothesis. That way, when you're analyzing things at the end of the week, in the middle of the week, whatever it is, you have a very clear, easy way to make sure that you know if it's a win or not. Now, while you're analyzing these different things, the most important metrics are going to be the amount spent, cost per lead, or cost per qualified appointment in the short term. Now, you can also look at the different ADA metrics. So here are some things that we typically take a look at. How many leads were there? What's the cost per lead? How much was spent overall? Or what's the CTR, or what's the percentage of people that actually click on the ad after they see it? What's the cost per through play, or how much does it cost to get someone to see 15 seconds of the ad? What's the cost per unique click? What's the conversion rate from the click to actually becoming a lead? And those are the main metrics that we look at when we're actually analyzing the ad. However, there's also the ADA metric. And the first one is first frame retention, which is going to be video plays divided by impressions. So it's how many people actually stop their thumb, or we call it the thumb stop rate, there. It should be at least 90% or higher. Otherwise, you should be changing your thumbnail. And then we have the hook rate, which is going to be the 3-second video views divided by impressions, or 3-second video views divided by video plays, depending on how you do it. It tells you the percentage of people that have stayed 2-3 seconds into the video. And then we have the hold rate, which is the percentage of people that stayed from 15 seconds that were there at 3 seconds. So it's the through plays divided by 3-second video views. And then we also have the video average playtime with the frequency, post shares, and post comments. We don't really use this as much. It's more just some, third metrics that we will look at. So we typically assess an ad mainly by results, cost per result, and amount spent. And then we'll go and look at unique CTR, conversion rate, cost per unique click, through play, and then finally we'll look at the ADA metrics. For the ADA metrics, which is first frame retention, hook rate, hold rate, video average playtime, what we can do with that is we can say, hey, this ad had a really, really low hook rate. So let's take this ad that had a really high hook rate, combine them together so that we can make a better ad. At the end of the day, you're not going to be making decisions to kill or scale an ad based off of the hook, hold rate, video average playtime, etc. But what you can do is you can inform it on what ads you make in the future and how you make iterations as well. Now, after you have all of this data, you can note the outcome in your testing sheet, as well as possible action steps from here to stay organized and reasons why you think the different metrics came out the way that they did. The short-term focus is what is the cost per lead. The above metrics can help it looking for what to improve. That being said, that's not for ROAS, return on ad spend. Because the roofing sales cycle is a little bit longer, we do have to wait for return on ad spend. But we don't want to waste a ton of money on an ad that's getting really, really expensive leads that's never going to work out for the cost per acquisition that we're looking for. And the other thing is you can do is once you notice an ad outperforming others or multiple ads, as long as there is enough spend that has gone through these different ads, you can begin to exploit this ad. You can test different components of the winner. You can ask yourself, can I vary the headlines, colors, fonts, hooks, bodies? Can I Frankenstein different ads or pieces of the ads together? Can I change one part of the ad to make it a lot better? Can I take one part and infuse it? Can I take one part of this ad and infuse it into all of my new ads? And that's why the above metrics are going to be really important for informing what you actually do here. Maybe you notice that the conversion rate is really high for a specific ad, indicating that you may have a higher quality audience. Or maybe the landing page aligns really well with the messaging from that ad specifically. So then you can inform, maybe you make a new landing page. Maybe you start to push that landing page. Maybe you start to push more of that angle and messaging. Maybe you tweak the hook, etc. And here are some examples of iterations that we did on this ad. So this one performed very well. It could have been the clean nature, the eye-popping headline, etc. But here's how we exploited it. We took this ad and we made a ton of different variations. Here we changed the background, we changed the headline. We changed the headline here, we changed the background again and the headline as well. And as you can see, we were testing some color ones, some black and white ones. We added a headline at the top, product images, lowercase letters, more vibrant ones, etc. Some of these flopped, but some of these outperformed the original. When you find a winner, you've struck gold, so keep digging. Now, one thing to keep note is the longer something lasts and the more spend it gets, the more we analyze it and the heavier we iterate on this. So this one got a decent amount of spend, and that's why we made a ton of different iterations for it. Now, for long-term creative analysis, after there is enough leads, appointments, and closes, you can then analyze an ad's return on ad spend relative to the other ads. It can take a while to get to this point because there's many drop-off points from lead to appointment to show to sale to completed job, and the sales cycle can be pretty long with 2 to 4 weeks in roofing. But the most important metrics long-term to analyze is going to be amount spent and profit on ad spend. So you should analyze the ads and theorize why it worked, and then design new tests to test those theories so that you can continue to become more profitable over time. What this will also allow you to do is make your own checklist of best practices based off of what you've seen to work for your ads in the past and what's led to profitability overall. And finally, you have to repeat the process. Make 5 to 40 new ads every single week. Every ad should raise the bar of the account, test volume, see what works and what doesn't, do more of what works and less of what doesn't. And if you're thinking, wow, that's going to be a lot of work, that's right. That's what it takes to win. It's not that hard to become a top 1% roofing advertiser, but most people don't want to do it, and that's why they complain that Facebook ads don't work, or that's why they're missing out on 50%, 100% of the ROI that they should be getting. If you don't want to do it, someone else will, and they will beat you. Or you could just hire us. If you want to watch the next video on some quick wins that you can use, some bonuses as well, then check the description. It's going to have everything in there, as well as the past videos explaining everything up until this point, all the background you need. And finally, if you'd like to access this full course for free, also going to be in the description. And I'll see you in the next video.